What's going on, everybody? It's Austin Got Figs, and I am bringing you the July 7th, 2025 Raw recap. As always in these videos, we go over everything that happened on this episode of Raw, and at the end of the video, you guys leave me your thoughts on everything that happened on this Raw down below, and I will be sure to read them and even maybe potentially leave my thoughts on your thoughts. But before we actually get into the recap, be sure to subscribe to the channel and always like the video. It helps me out a lot. And now let's hop into this recap. So tonight, to open our show, we did have Seth Rollins' faction come out, and I think this is probably one of the best segments that they've had in their since forming this faction. And I think this was a really good opener tonight. So we started off with Braun Breaker speaking, actually, which was, I think, yeah, this is the first time that Braun Breaker has speaked since being in this faction, of course. So pretty much he just says that he doesn't understand why us, the fans, pretty much just hype up a guy like Sami Zayn, a guy that, doesn't, how Braun Breaker described him, a guy that doesn't go to the gym, a guy that's pretty much not athletic, and pretty much he just gave all his thoughts on why he hates Sami Zayn. He says he hates his face, he hates his beard, he hates everything about him, basically. So it's pretty cool, man. That was cool to see Braun Breaker actually speak tonight. I think he actually had a good little few segments, or he had a good part. Oh my, he had a good part of this segment here, man. I think this is a nice little promo by Braun Breaker specifically. I think that's pretty good. But then we actually had Bronson Reed talk as well. So this is also Bronson Reed's first time speaking since joining the faction as well. So Bronson Reed, similar to Braun Breaker, he spoke about his opponent, which is Jay Uso tonight, which we're obviously going to get into that match later on in the video. So Bronson Reed pretty much just said that basically I hit Seth Rollins with, I think it was 6 tsunamis, and I earned his respect, and I'm gonna tsunami some respect into you as well, Jay, basically. So pretty much Bronson Reed was saying how he's gonna beat some respect into Jay Uso, and he's gonna make him basically accept the vision and basically admire the vision. The vision obviously being this faction that Seth Rollins has created. So that was what Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed had to say, but then we moved in to Paul Heyman, and he just talked a little bit about Seth's match as well with Penta that tonight as well, and pretty much he's again just saying similar to what Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed had to say. Just we're going to dominate, and that's not a spoiler. That's not a prediction. It's a spoiler, obviously. So. It was a pretty good opener, man. Seth Rollins didn't really speak much. In fact, the only thing he said was at the end of the thing, he was like, well, boys, you guys pretty much said everything that needed to be stated tonight, so without further ado, welcome to Monday Night Rollins, man. So I think it was a really great intro, probably one of the greatest, if not the greatest, just segment that this faction has had since, obviously, creating the faction. So I think this was a pretty good entrance to a show, but let's jump on to the next thing, shall we? All right, next up, we lead into our weekly Judgment Day segment, and we start off with seeing Finn Balor basically just sitting there polishing the titles that Judgment Day has. Obviously, those titles being the tag titles for the men's, the tag titles for the women's, and the Intercontinental Championship as well. So, and then we move into Raquel obviously coming in, and she says, why is there a picture of Liv Morgan with candles around it? And pretty much saying she's not dead, guys. She's alive. She's actually recovering, and she's recovering fast, and she'll be back very soon. And then, so, Roxan had told Raquel, basically, I just thought this would be nice to, just have Liv in here, have her presence in some sort of way while she's basically out and recovering. And then Raquel, obviously, again, had told Roxanne, well, the only thing you need to worry about tonight is pretty much beating Kyrie Sane, because you said you were going to, so why don't you prove it here tonight and beat her tonight? That's the only thing you need to worry about, basically. And that was really the end of Raquel and Roxanne. Then they left, basically, and then we had Finn Balor and JD, and then JD had asked Finn, basically, what's going on with Adam Pearce, what's going on with all this, and then JD had said, why don't we go basically go ask Adam Pearce, what's going on, what's up, basically, what's going on with us, pretty much. So yeah, they left, and then we were left with Dominic Mysterio, and he was there was actually a cake there that said "Get well soon," and then it said AJ. And then we saw AJ Styles, and he's just peeping around the corner, spying on Dominic Mysterio. And then Dominic held up his paper, saying, I got a note, I got a doctor's note, I'm not cleared right now. So, but yeah, so that was really it for the weekly Judgment Day segment, man. Pretty cool. Nice to see, really funny to see AJ there, with that little thing there. I think that was pretty funny. But that's really it, man. That sums up this part of the show. Let's move on. All right, next up in this recap, we move into Roxanne Perez versus Kyrie Sane. And I gotta be honest, seeing as the fact that for this match, it was mainly for Roxanne Perez getting revenge on what Kyrie did to Liv, I don't think it portrayed that very well, because from my perspective, I think you should have the person that's trying to get revenge be a little bit more aggressive. And Roxanne, I don't feel was very aggressive in this match at all, in my opinion. I mean, that could just be me, but I just don't think the concept that they were trying to portray, or that they were trying to show, was not portrayed very well. But that could just, like I said, that 100% could just be me. But then that leads me into the in-ring aspect. Because of that reason, I just don't think in-ring was too well. But I don't want to hate on the in-ring too much, because it was, it wasn't all bad. It was decent. It was, there was some cool moves in there, nothing, it wasn't bland the entire time, but, what was not the greatest. Definitely could have portrayed their, what they were trying to show a lot better, but, it's whatever. It happened and it's over with. So, at the end of the match though, Kyrie Sane did win. And actually, that's another thing. I think the ending was also sloppy. See, you know what? Unfortunately, I think I'm just going to have to not call this match very good, in my opinion. That 100% could just be me, but man, the ending was trash. I don't think the ending was very good. It ended in a roll-up, and I just don't think that was necessary. I think that was pretty pointless. Thought that was dumb, actually. But either way, at the end of the match, though, we did have a post-match attack on Kyrie Sane. Obviously, Kyrie Sane did actually end up winning this match. But back to the end of the match. So yeah, we had a post-match attack on Kyrie Sane where Raquel and Roxanne can beat up on Kyrie. But then we actually had Asuka come out, and obviously they were the Kabuki. Asuka and Kyrie Sane were obviously the Kabuki Warriors at one point. So Asuka came out to help Kyrie Sane, and then she succeeded in that, and then that was it, man. That was the match. That was the post-match. And like I said, I just don't think this match is very good. I don't think Roxanne was as aggressive as she should have been, and I just don't think, I think the ending was sloppy as well. But yeah, that really sums up my thoughts for this part of the show. Nothing really else that I need to cover here. Let's move on, man. All right, next up in this show, we did have, we were supposed to have, I should say, Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker. But before Sami could even get to the ring, his rival, Karrion Kross, came out and attacked him once again, and started attacking him with the pipe that he had attacked Sami with last week, man. So pretty interesting. But I can't lie, I am actually kind of liking this more aggressive side of Karrion. I do like this. This is kind of what I wanted from Karrion, and I will say at Night of Champions we did not get that, so that's why I was kind of pissed off and just thought the Sami and Karrion match was trash at Night of Champions. But with this more aggressive side of Karrion after Night of Champions, I am really digging it. I think it is very interesting, and I'm honestly here for it, man. I can't lie, I'm here for it, and I hope it continues to do well. So no match, no Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker, I guess, because Sami Zayn has been attacked by Karrion Kross tonight. So yeah, man, pretty interesting. Like I said, though, I'm here for it, and I cannot wait to see more from Karrion Kross. All right, so what we're going to talk about here actually follows up what we talked about in the last clip. So Sami Zayn actually ended up having the match with Braun Breaker still, and this match was short, but it served the purpose that it exactly needed to, man. It was literally just a bunch of spears from Braun Breaker. He practically split Sami Zayn in half. Obviously, Braun Breaker won, but the match served its purpose. It explained the fact very well that Sami Zayn obviously needs to be saved from himself. He needs to, at some point, know, when to do something and when not to. Because obviously he should not have taken this match, but he was the one that directly told Pierce, I am taking this match still. I don't care. I need to have this match. I need to defeat Braun Breaker. So I think this match served its purpose. It was short, but it served its purpose. It did exactly what it should have done. No complaints from me. I think it just was great, man. It did exactly everything it needed to, and that's all there is to know, man. I will note, though, we did have another midair spear. Sami Zayn jumped off, I think it was the middle rope, and then Braun Breaker came out, speared him out of the air. And, so I wanted to throw that out there as well. But yeah, man, match served its purpose. I think it was pretty good, and that is all there is to know. But now it's time to move on. Let's go. Alright, next up, we actually had a banger of a segment, in my opinion, between Lyra Valkyria, Bayley, and Becky Lynch, man. Obviously, this segment is ahead of their match at Evolution for the Women's Intercontinental Championship that will obviously be on the line at Evolution, man. But I think this segment was awesome. I think this probably, we haven't had too much build to this match at Evolution, but man, I think that this promo this overall segment absolutely secured a pretty good build, man. I really did enjoy this segment, man. Lots of heated tension between all three women. There's a reason that Lyra hates Bayley. There's a reason that Bayley hates Lyra. There's a reason that Lyra hates Becky. There's a reason that Becky hates Lyra. There's a reason that Bayley hates Becky. There's a reason that every woman hates each other, and I freaking love it, man. It's so freaking awesome. I honestly was going into this segment thinking, this is probably something you can skip, really. It's probably not going to be that big of a deal, but no. I genuinely just think this was an overall great segment, in my opinion. It really secured it secured a nice build towards this match that all three of these women will have at Evolution, man. So for that reason, for this segment was awesome, in my opinion, man. I think it was great, and can't wait to actually see the match, because if we're gonna have the aggression that we saw tonight out of these women at Evolution, man, oh my, that match could potentially be a show stealer. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, man, we did actually have a little bit of a brawl at the end. Lyra Valkyria ended up actually standing tall, but will that be the case at Evolution? I don't know, man. I'm not gonna lie, I think Bayley is kind of the underdog in this situation. I feel like a lot of people are more siding with Lyra or Becky Becky winning the match at Evolution, but I think Bayley is an underdog, and I think she should not. I don't think she should be, but that could just be me, man. I just wanted to throw that out there, But yeah, man, I think that's really it. That's all there is to cover, man. Great segment, in my opinion. Let's move on to the next part of the show. All right, and then we move on to Bronson Reed versus Jay Uso. Yeah. All right. Now, obviously, this match actually ended in a disqualification because, so Jay Uso had super kicked Bronson Reed into a chair, and then he had super kicked him again. Then Jay Uso went back in the ring. And then Jay Uso, I'm pretty sure he was going to do a dive. And then Bronson Reed had picked up the chair, and then he had tossed it and chucked it right at Jay Uso, which I thought was hilarious. I'm not going to lie. Low-key actually looked hella brutal. So that was low-key pretty cool, in my opinion. So yeah, that ended in a disqualification, and for that reason, Jay Uso did win. Post-match, though, we did see one tsunami. I'm pretty sure it was. Was it one or two? I think it was one tsunami to Jay Uso. It could have been two, though. Don't quote me on that. I low-key forgot. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, man, I honestly thought, though, that we would have seen more of a brutal beatdown. I'm not gonna lie. But, we didn't. That's not even that bad, taking a tsunami is it's pretty damn brutal, okay? So it's not like the segment wasn't brutal. It was still brutal because of that one tsunami, let's be honest. Nobody wants to take that. Big Bronson Reed come right off the top rope, boom, right on you. Yeah, nobody wants that. So either way, with just one, that's already brutal. But I just thought maybe it would have been more brutal, maybe with more steel chairs, maybe? I don't know. It could have just been me, though. But I'm not going to let that take away from the fun that I thought this match had. It was short, but I thought it was, kind of fun. And I'm not going to lie. But yeah, man, that really wraps it up here, man. Let's move on. All right, next up, we did have El Grande Americano, or Ludwig Kaiser, let's be honest, versus Dragon Lee. And I gotta say, I didn't care for this match, but only because I'm really not behind this El Grande Americano thing. I think it's getting dragged out, and I just not a big fan of the fact that it's being dragged out for this long. I think it should have ended. That's just me, though. Yeah, I wasn't really looking forward to this. I could care less, in my opinion, but that's just me. I know there's probably maybe a lot of people out there that like El Grande, but I just really I just can't get behind some goofy motherfucker running around in an American flag mask that consistently hits people with headbutts to win his matches. I just can't take that seriously. So yeah, let's be honest. But yeah, I genuinely just did not care for this match. That's all I gotta say here. But let's move on to our main event. Okay, so I actually thought that we were jumping into our main event, but we're actually not, man. We actually had Gunther come out, and basically what he had to say was, I've been verbally abusing Bill Goldberg for the past 2 weeks, and he hasn't came out here and he hasn't come do anything about it. So clearly he's afraid. Bill Goldberg is afraid of Gunther, basically. That's when Goldberg he pulls up in his car, then he marches down to the ring, and then Gunther tries to pull up his mic. Goldberg smacks it right out of his hand. Goldberg says, right here, buddy, right here, come on, you take the first shot. And then Gunther tried, but then Goldberg dropped Gunther with a right hand, and then that's when Goldberg tried to go for the gore and the spear, but then Gunther got out of the ring, and then that was it, man. And all I have to say is, Gunther, you're next. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we've reached our main event of the night, and this main event was Seth Rollins versus Sero Penta. And this was a banger. This was such a good match, man. This was an absolute banger of a match. I freaking loved this match. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know if it has the potential for one of the best matches on Raw of the year, but it could. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was really good, in my opinion. I just genuinely thought it was a really good match. So yeah, man, I truly enjoyed this main event. Obviously, Seth Rollins did actually end up winning he actually hit a low blow on Penta in the most odd way, in my opinion. Penta had him like in I would say like the starting position for a powerbomb, like before he's about to lift him up, and then Seth had headbutted him right in the right in the testes, and then he hit the stomp, and then it was 1, 2, 3, Seth freaking Rollins is your winner. And then Seth goes over to Heyman, and then Heyman starts barking at his phone, and then there comes Braun Breaker and the Tsunami Man, Bronson Reed. And then before they can even get down to the ring, guess who it is? L.A. Knight, yeah! Comes down, and he hits Seth Rollins with a blunt force trauma, that big old BFT, drops him right on his skull, and walks his way back up those damn stairs. So yeah, man, that was our main event, man. Really good match, really great post-match. Obviously, we will have a match with Rollins and LA Knight at Saturday night's main event, so it was cool to have LA Knight come out tonight and attack Seth Rollins again tonight, so very cool. Man, just overall, man, really good main event in my opinion. I thought this was a truly good way to top off the night, man, honestly. But yeah, man, that was our main event. Alright, everybody, we've reached the end of the video. I know it sucks, but guess what? There's always more content coming out. The one thing I actually do want to note, there might actually not be content for maybe about a week or so. I'm not too sure yet. I might be able to get a Raw recap out for next week, but as far as a SmackDown recap for this week, I won't be able to get that out. And I don't know. And as far as action figure videos, I don't know if I'll be able to be taking requests, but I'll let you guys know more in the next coming days, of course. But I hope you guys enjoyed this one. As always, in a Raw recap video, you guys leave me all your thoughts on this Raw down below in the comments, and I'll be sure to look at them and get back to you. If you enjoyed this video, though, as always, be sure to leave a like on this video. And if you want to see more content from me, you can always subscribe and even turn on post notifications so you're notified every time I upload a video. But without further ado, man, it's time for me to get out of here. Hope you enjoyed, and I am out. Peace.